Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Cello Magic with Cellist-in-the-park. Oh, hold on, where's my cello? Oh, that's not my cello. Let's do it again. Ah, that's much better. In this episode, I will share with you two simple tips about phrasing. Stay tuned. Welcome back. The phrasing tip I'm going to give you, I call them phrasing with G and S. G and S in music history normally refer to Gilbert and Sullivan. Those are two famous lyricists and composer in the Victoria era in Britain. But in here, G, it stands for grouping. Grouping simply means you put a bunch of notes together and make sense of the music. Just like when you see an article, you see paragraph and you see phrase, we need to grouping the notes into the paragraph and the phrase as well. So, for instance, the Song Swan, we can group them from big to small. First, the first four lines maybe into a big paragraph all the way until the high D. Maybe the end of that note could be our first big grouping or big paragraph. And then from there, we can break down into smaller group. But nevertheless, each group needs to have this logic behind it. For instance, the beginning. If we stop here, it doesn't make sense. You have to keep going. That feels like the end of the phrasing. So you group the piece of music from big to small so you can see the bigger picture and then you can plan your approach to that piece of music. So in here, when we know that high D is the climax of this piece, then from the beginning we need to plan to start soft and don't get everything out from right beginning. Now letter S stands for shaping. It has been said every note needs to have a direction. Every phrase needs to have a shape. Every music needs to have a story. When we group notes together, we need to give a shape. Otherwise, it can sound very bland, very boring. So either the notes will go up or the notes goes down or stay in a wavy motion. Sometimes it can be a very dramatic shape or sometimes it's just a very gentle shape. For instance, the beginning of the swan, I feel the note start from the beginning, it goes down a little bit and then toward the A note. And it dies away with B and C to finish this shape. So sometimes, like the next phrase, it goes up. And sometimes you can finish note with a strong dynamic, but also most of the time I think you need to taper the end to make the shape a little more rounded. When we're doing the shaping, not only we can use dynamic, we can also use the vibrato, we can also use the bow speed, we can also use different articulation and the timing and the rubato of the note. So thinking about that when you approach different phrase. Phrasing is very personal because we as artists are all very, very different. So some phrasing works for others might not work for you, or you might feel the same piece of music differently in different day. So you can try them out. Don't feel that you're obligated to one type of phrasing. For instance, the some the swung in the beginning, if you feel like you want to group them in two instead of, you can try, or you can even try to, instead of doing a gentle slope, you're doing a crescendo towards the C. See what you feel about that. There are many ways that you can try to make your own personality. But first, do learn the traditional way of phrasing, and then you can elaborate with your own personality. Shall we review what we have learned? Phrasing with G and S. G stands for grouping, S stands for shaping. If you think those two tips are helpful to you, do give a thumbs up and subscribe. Leave your comments and questions below. And I will see you in my next video. Until then, keep making cello magic.